Hello, this is Jennifer Steckel from the Direwolf Project. Thank you for joining us today. In today's video, we're going to interview Jesse James March, speaking about his dog Bricks, who is still in isolation in Cleveland Animal Control for almost a year. Don't forget to stay till the end for your free gift. We'll see you then. We were going to talk to Jesse James March, who appears to be the owner of a wolf dog named Bricks. Bricks was taken into the custody of animal control in Cleveland, Ohio in August of 2023. This wolf dog, which appears to be a high content wolf dog, lingers even still 1 year later in isolation in a small cement enclosure at animal control awaiting its fate. Jesse James called me a week ago and he wanted to set the record straight about what was the truth behind the wolf dog, the attack, and whether this wolf dog is the culprit, is the attacker. Unfortunately, I don't know how to do Zoom very well. I haven't used it very often. So in this interview, you're just going to see Jesse James March, and I will be speaking in the background. So I hope you enjoy this interview with Jesse James March and his dog Bricks in an isolated animal control facility for almost a year. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really excited that you called and that you had the gumption to advocate for your wolf dog. If I'm correct, his name is Bricks, right?
Her name is
Her
Bricks.
name. Okay, it's a she. Good. Okay, perfect. Well, it's great to speak with you today. I wanted to thank you very much for reaching out to us at the Wolf Dog channel by the Direwolf Project, because there is a misconception out there about this particular channel, and that's because we always share about wolf dog news, and normally in the wolf dog community, in the news, like Fox 8 in Cleveland, which is the one that was the one that did your particular situation.
Yeah.
You know, that it's all about the dog attacks and the maulings and the killings and the abandonment and all of that. And so a lot of our channel is that, but our channel is really for advocating for wolf dogs, because if the statistics are true, and there are 200,000 wolf dogs euthanized every year, if that person in Colorado is really clear on that,
Yeah.
or if 90% of wolf dogs are euthanized by the time they're 2 years old, which is another statistic out there, then we have to do something about that. And the only way to do anything about that is to speak about the truth, right? So we want, no matter what it is, we want informed owners, we want informed breeders, we want people who know the differences in wolf dogs, and we certainly do not want any more wolf dogs euthanized if we can help it. And so it's really great that you have reached out to us so that the truth can get out there about what's going on with your wolf dog Bricks. So the first thing I wanted to do was get everybody caught up on who you are and what actually happened. So as far as I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I understand, last August 2023, a woman named Leanne had a dog attack her, and she herself does not claim to know which dog that was, but there was a quote unquote good Samaritan that came by and helped her get the dog off so that the attack was stopped. And that person, the good Samaritan, is the one that identified Bricks as the particular wolf dog that was the one involved in the attack. And as far as I understand it, you are Jesse James March, and you are the owner. And you say that Bricks is not the dog that is the one that attacked Leanne in August of 2023. Have I got that correct? What do you think?
So, for the most part, Jennifer, and I just want to
Okay.
say I appreciate you bringing me on the platform. I mean, the fact that I reached out to you on the anniversary of the date that another dog
Yes.
was murdered by the police without a trial is just like I don't think
Right.
coincidences exist in life. So the
That's
fact
right.
that that happened when you told me that, I mean, it made me I even got a more uh, enthusiasm as far as knowing that I'm doing the right thing and reaching out to the right group. With that being said, yeah, for the most part, you're correct. Now, what I would say is, as far as the ownership of this animal, I have a younger brother by the name of Ricardo March. I'm not sure if you can see this. All of these documents, they've been provided to the court, and the court has yet to admit anything in this folder in the discovery. This case was
Wow.
this case originated back in August or September of last year of 2023. We're now, today is July the 23rd in 2024. We still haven't gotten the discovery. We still haven't gotten the 911
Wow.
call. We still don't have a trial date. I just dropped a link in the chat, just so you know, because I'm just a guy. You don't know me personally. I could be just, you know, an axe murderer. I could be someone who just, you know, has a bunch of lies and just wants to tell them. But that being said, the link in the that I just sent over to the Direwolves Project, that is directly to the case. So you can pull it up and see that. I know we spoke via email a few days ago. I
Yeah.
actually had a court hearing on that date. The judge has recused herself from the case. She recused
Oh
herself
my
from the
gosh.
case. Judge Michelle Early, who's the administrative judge over all of the Cleveland Municipal Court District's cases that involve animals and domestic violence. There's certain cases that she's the administrative judge over. She's recused herself, and it's now been assigned to Suzanne Sweeney. Not only that, the attorney on the case, on the same date, at the same time, at the same hearing, also removed himself from the case.
Okay.
He was a public defender and stated that he no longer wants to represent me on this case. He can't tell. It's actually, so the defendant on the case, let me get that straight and forward, is my little brother, Ricardo. He is
Okay.
an
And that's
animal
the one
lover.
who was on the video on Fox 8, right? Okay. Yeah,
This
'cause
guy's an
we're gonna have
animal
to go
lover.
through exactly what happened during that time, but so go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, he's an animal lover. He's loved animals his entire life, cats, dogs. So our family originates from Jamaica. So we actually had farms that we grew up on. We've been around the cats, the goats, the dogs, the pigs, the cows, create very intimate, close relationships with these animals. So
Uh-huh.
we're well aware that dogs aren't the only things that are friendly and obedient as far as the animal kingdom is concerned. There's a plethora of animals out there that if you treat them the right way, they'll treat you the right way. And that's how we were raised. So with that being said, you know, his birthday came around in 2020, and I
Ricardo.
told him, yeah, Ricardo, I told him I was going to get him a wolf dog. He's always wanted one. He's always been obsessed with wolf dogs. And I wanted to get a female. I did a lot of research and saw that the females are a lot more docile and a lot more open to, you know, obedience and not being the alpha. So I didn't want him to get his hands, or us to get our hands into something that would be too much. So I went with the female. I did a lot of research on a farm out in Tennessee by the name of Fraser Farm Exotics. So they have all kind of animals that they grow there and raise, from alpacas to horses to raccoons, that they sell to farms and zoos and crazy guys like me all around the world. And they do so. It's all FDA approved. I was able to view and tour the facility. It's a great facility ran by some great people. With that being said, all the necessary precautions and necessary paperwork and necessary euthanize or drugs, as far as the
The vaccine.
medications and things of
Uh,
that nature, vaccination, sorry about euthanization, that's been stuck in my head.
yeah.
All those necessary measures and precautions were taken by this farm because they have to do so before they release the animal into the custody of another individual. So with
Huh.
that being said, I didn't have a choice if things would have been done the right way, and I had to disclose the location of where this animal would have been brought. At the time, I was actually working remotely from Long Island, so I had New York plates on my vehicle, and they said, "Whoa, if you're going to New
Uh-huh.
York, we won't be able to sell you this animal." And I
Right.
said, "No, I'm not." I showed them my identification and showed them, where it would be going and things of that nature. So I'm saying all that to say that a lot of boxes have to be checked off before you don't just get the money and then you go out there and get a wolf. That's not how it works. There's a
Right.
lot of things that have to be done in boxes that have to be checked off, and things that the seller has to know about you, the buyer, and the family of the buyer before they're going to go ahead and release the animal to you. So with
Right.
that being said, her birthday is April 8th of
Okay.
2020. I got her when she was 8 weeks old. We've been around her since she was like an infant. I have pictures of her when she was very, very small. She used to sleep in the
Wow.
bed with me and my brother,
Huh.
alternate between who she wanted to sleep with from time to time. She used to hide in the most precarious of places, from in the fireplace to like under couches and just weird places that you'd never. That's the very first thing that I found out about owning a wolf. It's just like these animals are very mysterious creatures. Like sometimes they're affection and they want to be around you, and other times they just want to take a vantage point to be able to see that you're good, see that you're safe, but they don't want the world to necessarily see them or have a clear view of them. It's pretty weird, because I'll take her to the park and she'll go like hide in the bushes somewhere where only I can see her, and if I call her, she'll come right out. But it's like she like likes to be, low key, kind of somewhere in the back where people can't really view her. She doesn't like to really be seen by too many people for whatever reason. Very, very weird personality. Never weird towards me as far as like, her actions or anything, but just like I've never had an animal that behaves the way she behaves. She's so unique. Her personality is so unique. And they told me like it just depends on the animal itself. Like all wolves aren't the same. You have some that are very boisterous and very, outgoing, and you have others that are very like, in the background and docile. And that's what Bricks is. She's a very like laid back, just wants to chill and be by you, but at the same time, she wants to have her own space, likes to dig holes, and just she's just a very like majestic creature, and the fact that they have her like this, I know I'm all over the place, but I'm just like
Right.
so many different memories are just going through my head right now.
What
But
is
with that,
what is her content, Jesse? Do you know?
yeah, so she is 92% gray wolf, and then the other
Okay.
8% is German Shepherd.
Okay. Okay.
So she's a
Very
pretty
cool.
high content wolf. I've even caught her barking, like sometimes, like
Oh,
it
wow.
doesn't sound like a normal bark. I have a few
Right.
videos of it, but yeah, for the most part, she's howling. Like if I want her to come to me right away and she's far away, the easiest thing for me to do is just howl. She knows my voice. It's true. They know your voice. If you're howling, they know it's you. They'll
Hmm.
come right away before I even say her name. If I just howl and she's like down the street, or
Yeah.
if I like I'm walking them late at night, because I'll bring her out 2, 3 in the morning so we don't have to really see too many people, and I howl, she'll run right up to me. So it's really crazy how like some of the stereotypical things you would think about a wolf are true as it relates to her, but other things are like completely couldn't be more false, as far as she's aggressive or they're vicious or they hunt humans or they go after people. That couldn't be farther from the truth.
She's not like that. Yeah.
Not at all. She's gonna avoid people. When she sees
Uh-huh.
you, she's gonna walk away before she walks to you, just because for that's just her nature for whatever reason. She doesn't know you. She's not really trying to interact with you.
That's one of the arguments for pure wolves as opposed to wolf dogs, because some of those wolf dogs can be really confused. They are friendly and they're initially friendly, but then there's a little bit of a whoa, I don't know about you kind of feeling. And then if the human is doesn't respond in a certain way, the wolf dog can become confused, and then they don't know how to interact. But a full wolf, like Bricks is much closer to a full wolf. They are innately shy of human beings. They don't come up and they don't want to be in your space, and they're not dominant toward you. They're way more submissive and way more like standoffish, and so that's kind of one of the arguments for owning a very high content wolf dog or even a full wolf, as opposed to a wolf dog that's in mid content, because then they have, in fact, it can be, you can inherit temperament in so many different ways. And when you have a wolf and a dog together, you don't really know, unless you're specifically breeding for temperament, you don't really know how much of that is going to be wolf temperament, how much of that is going to be domesticated dogs. And then when they have a combination, then, you know, you can get in trouble. And so we've seen that on our channel a lot, where the dog part of the wolf dog can be really friendly and
Can
then
be
come up to
problematic
you.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then once they come up, you know, like we've had a pack of wolves recently in Northern California. They were wolf dogs, go after a young dog on a leash in the owner's yard. And so it was almost like they were friendly enough to approach, but then it was their instincts caught up to him, right? And then the little dog turned into, you know, something that they could
Big
hunt. I
problem.
mean, yeah, that's really the argument for owning a higher content wolf dog like Bricks is. So that's very interesting that
Yeah.
her wolf aspects are really prominent, and she doesn't want to approach people that she doesn't know or strangers or whatever. And you say she doesn't have that aggressive tendency. It's more of a tendency to be away or be hidden or stay away from people that she doesn't know. And there's certainly not a dominant mode of I'm going to attack you or
Investigate.
hunt you or yeah, or be close to you, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Exactly. It's crazy. You just reminded me about there's a school not too far from where I live where I would walk her, and there was an older gentleman there, and he identified her right away. He said he grew up with wolves, and he was pretty far away, and he said, "Hey, girl." Da-da-da. He knew she was a girl and everything. He said, "Hey, girl, come here," and she literally went up to him and just jumped on him. And she's like
My
120
gosh.
pounds. She's
She
like 100.
showed, like, she was like, hey, I'm
And
like your
and
friend or
she just
something.
laid down, put her
Oh,
arms up
wow.
in the air, and he's just rubbing her belly. And I'm like, man, you know what I mean? And he's a
Yeah.
complete stranger, never interacted with her before that.
Interesting.
And she, you know, she's been around kids. I mean, she's plays with my nephews. I think I may have sent you a video of my nephew smacking her in the face with a football or something. She's very, very, very gentle. Because she's extremely intelligent. Like, this is by far is the most intelligent animal that I've been around. She
Yeah.
knows what you're feeling. She knows how to read the room. She knows what the emotions of the room are.
Uh,
And I don't want to get too far away from the case, because that's the reason
yeah,
why
we'll
she's
get
still
back to
not
there.
here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, yeah, as far as her temperament is concerned, and I'll defer to the experts as far as like what the temperament of a mid content or a low content, because I really don't have any expertise as far as those animals are concerned.
So
But
diverse. Yeah.
Bricks is just a like I've probably had maybe I've had four dogs that were mine growing up, and one dog that was given to me. And I would trust her around people more than any of those dogs, just because the majority of those dogs were American bulldogs or
Uh,
pit bull breeds,
in the
or
fighting breed arena.
some sort of dog that's known, that has a perception, even if that dog itself is not
Right.
aggressive, it has a perception of humans of being aggressive. And we know dogs have feelings the same way humans do. So
Yeah.
if you're walking around treating this thing like it's in a cage and it's a gorilla, it's gonna, after a while, it's gonna think that, okay, that's probably what I am, and this is how I need to act, because people are treating me like I'm a monster, so I must be a monster. I mean, imagine walking around all day as a human, and every time people see you, they're like
Yeah.
scared of you, taken aback. After a while, you're
Start.
gonna start to react that way. You'll develop emotions that are directly acclimated to the interactions that you're having with human beings. It's natural. So with that being said, Bricks is like the article that Fox News and Channel 19 News published about her was disgusting to me, because she's just never done any of those things. The same animal control that have her in their possession right now have came to my house and asked me to take pictures with her.
Okay.
Like,
Wow.
and now
Or
they're
they're
trying to
like
on
for
their
the
personal
training.
devices, just because they're just so like, they think she's so cool.
Oh, yeah.
You know
Interesting.
what so
Yeah.
it's like it's crazy now, like, to see that these same people have, it's like they wanted this. Is this what you guys wanted the whole time? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah. Hey,
As far as the,
go back to that day and
as
let,
far as the,
from your
so
perspective, what happened on that day? And because I saw the video and DeCardo was the one that was, kind of interacting there. So what happened then?
So the video that you're seeing of that day is not the day of the alleged incident taking place.
Okay.
That's about a week or so afterwards.
Okay.
So in the discovery, they say that the reason why they didn't take any dogs when they came is because they didn't see any evidence that the dogs at the residence had attacked anyone. So
Right.
they didn't take her or take they didn't do anything. They didn't come here asking for a dog, nothing. I was here the entire time. And the
Okay.
good Samaritan that they're referring to in the discovery is actually me. I am the individual that
No.
took the dog off of her. Right hand of God, let my unborn
What?
kids perish if I'm lying. I
Jeff.
am I am who took the dog off of her. That's why they don't want to go to trial. They know they've botched this. They
Oh,
know they
dang.
know that they're lying. This is all a fallacy. I don't understand why they're doing this. I believe that they've came up with this vicious wolf storyline, and it made so much sense and sounded so good and had so much shock value that they're just sticking with it now because the facts of this case remain that this is not what happened. So let's rewind back to that date. I'm in the backyard. I have a back lawn and a front lawn. In the backyard, it's like I could show you. It's like a jungle
Like you
back
have a
there.
porch, right? And
Yeah,
like
I have
as
a
the
back porch and a front porch and an upper. So I'm in a two-family home. My family's owned this home since the late '80s. So
okay.
I spent some of my adolescence in this home as well. But with that being said, I'm in the
You're in
backyard.
Cleveland.
Yeah, in Cleveland, Ohio, right on the border of Cleveland and Shaker
Okay.
Heights, Ohio.
So
So
it's like a there are houses right next to each other. So
yes,
you don't have acreage or anything. Okay.
no. There are houses right next to each other, but each house has like a probably about a half, maybe a third of an acre in the if you combine the front and the back. So there's like good space for her to run around. There's a backyard where I park the vehicles, and then there's another yard, like another backyard space behind that where she spends a lot of time. And
Yeah.
she's underneath the porch. She's dug herself like a den underneath the porch. She'll sleep underneath there. And there's a camera. There's cameras throughout my yard that are there to monitor her. So anywhere she is, I'm able to look and tell exactly where she is because when she was very young, she used to hide a lot and I wouldn't know
Ah,
where she was. So I
is she
installed
your
these.
only wolf dog? She's
Yes.
okay. All right.
Yes. So she used to hide a lot, and if I had had another wolf dog before her, I would have known this is what they do. You
Typical,
know,
yeah.
yeah, it was like a trial and error thing. Like, she would do this and I would do that to combat it and make sure we were still like where we needed to be as far as her being in my sight at all times. So with that being said, on that date, I'm in the backyard doing some lawn work. There's like a apple tree in the backyard we used to eat apples off of when I was a kid. It's kind of dying now, rotting. So I'm doing some yard work, cutting down the extra wood back there, that sort of deal. And in the midst of that, I stop it. I get a phone call from one of my friends. He's talking to me about DraftKings. I can't forget this day because it hasn't been legal in Ohio for that long, maybe like a year or so. When he's talking to me about baseball and the Phillies and Zach Wheeler and how many strikeouts he's going to throw tonight and all that sort of stuff. And I'm like, giving my input on the bet. And out of my ear, on the other side, I hear screaming. So
Oh,
like, and as this is happening, like Bricks is chained up in the back. Like she's on a chain that is it's strong enough to tow a vehicle. And the only
yeah,
reason why she has this chain is because she broke everything else.
right.
She's broken everything else I've ever put her on. So
Yeah.
she's on this chain and she's looking at me as I'm walking out there. I walk out there and this lady's being attacked.
Oh
So
my gosh.
I was just attacked by a dog. I don't know if you can tell, but my finger's broken. So not too long ago, I was actually bitten here and attacked by a dog that gave me a bunch of rabies shots. The rabies shots were a lot more painful than the actual the attack itself. And it is what it is. It was a stray dog. To this day, they don't know who did it. The police never really did any investigation on it. I let it go, whatever. But when I heard her screaming and I ran out there and saw that a dog was attacking her, like I literally jumped into action. I ran over there, grabbed the dog by its collar, threw it down on the ground, and like made sure she was okay. Now, the moment that I do that, I still have the dog, and it's like riled up. So I'm
Okay.
grabbing the dog, I bring it to my yard, and I block it behind the fence, and I go to attend to her. I go to attend to her,
Oh, yeah.
and a truck pulls up. Some guy stops in a pickup truck. He's sitting there, and I'm helping her find her phone. I'm using my phone to call her phone so she can find her phone. So as she finds her phone, I hand it to her. When I hand her her phone, I turn around and I look at the dog staring at us at the fence, and I say, "Oh my God, my dog is back there." So now I go back there, I grab that dog, and I bring it on my porch. So it has no way to interact with my dog. I don't know how that's going to go. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Mhm.
with that being said, the ambulance pulls up. No police ever pull up. The ambulance pulls up. You know, I
Okay.
watched the entire thing from the porch. Before the ambulance pulls up, the guy who owns the dog, which is the neighbor in the house behind me, he comes and gets his dog. I tell him, "Hey man, your dog just bit some lady right in front of the house right here."
The
Like her
neighbor who owns the dog that
in
you
the black and white, there's a house right next door to me that lit on fire. You
what?
can't even make this up.
No,
I could show
what?
you. I wish I could show you. It's on fire. I can probably bring my laptop on the porch here and show you that the entire house next door is on fire. So they've moved out. I
My,
mean, it's not on fire now. Hang on, let me see if I can show you.
this is the day, the worst day ever. And the fire happened that same day, Jesse?
No, no, no. This happened
Oh,
probably maybe about 3 weeks ago.
oh my gosh.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So that
So
happens.
that neighbor owned a dog.
Hang on a second.
Yeah.
Oh God. So that neighbor, yes, owned two dogs. One of
Okay.
those dogs would always get into my yard, made some hole in the fence, would always get into my yard. It got to the point where I gave them a dog cage to put the dog in because they would always just have the dog running about. Now that dog was a puppy at the time, but the other dog was grown. It was a lot bigger than the dog that I'm referring to that would run around. I really just didn't want him to run into the street and get hit by a car or something to happen to him. You know, when a dog's very young, just like when a child is very young, anything that happens early on can affect you for the rest of your life. So I don't want it to get some sort of injury or whatever. It really sucked. I don't think they were the best dog owners. But with that being said, that's neither here nor there. It's not my business, my prerogative. But I give the guy his dog. He says, "Oh man, the dog just attacked someone." Blah blah blah.
Wow.
I tell
What
him,
did the
"Yeah."
dog look like? How big was it? That kind of deal?
It was probably, I would say, like 90 pounds. It was like maybe like a black, I don't really know too many like aggressive dog breeds, so I couldn't even tell you, but it was pretty beefy. Probably like a King Corso mixed with a pit bull sort of deal.
Okay, so like maybe an XXL bully or some
Yeah,
big
it was
giant.
definitely a bigger dog though. Probably a dog that people would like stud. Like he's probably having it so he could get puppies or something like that.
Okay.
And that's happened around here in the area. Literally, they'll have dogs just sitting in houses just with their puppies. No one's living in the house with the dog.
Okay.
Anyways, so the lady goes off in the ambulance. You know, he gets his dog, and then like this story comes out. My dad calls me from Jamaica. I don't even know what's going on. He calls me from Jamaica in his accent, like, "You don't see what I'm going." And I'm like, "What's, what's going on?" He's like, "Man, they got the house on the news. They're saying you own some vicious wolf that attacked some lady."
Yeah.
So I reach out to animal control.
Oh,
The director or commissioner, I don't know sure what his title is. His name is John Baird. And at when they were at the scene to come and take Briccs, I told them, "Hey, we have video camera footage showing that she was on her lead the entire time." So
wow. So
why?
why did they come and take Bricks? Did they say anything about
So they put it on the news. When they
Uh-huh.
put it on the news, they called. I gave them my cell phone number. I reached out to them. I said, "Here's my cell phone number. Tell me the date and time that this attack happened. Tell me the date and time, specifically the time that the lady's saying that she got attacked, because I don't remember the exact time. I only know the date. So give me the time, and I'll show you the video footage of her being on her lead. She never left her lead the entire time.
Yeah.
I know this for a fact because I was outside. They've never given me the time up until Now they told me 7:20, but then they backtracked that. And in the statement in the discovery, there's no date on it, meaning we don't know if this woman changed her statement or what she said. I'm assuming she's going to go to trial and say that Bricks bit her. But in the discovery, a few days after the attack happened, so when the attack happened, she said that Bricks bit her. That's what she said. She said there's a wolf bit me. Everybody knows Bricks because she's the only wolf dog over here. So everybody knows exactly who she is. I walk
Uh-huh.
her around. People are shocked. They ask me if they don't think she's going to kill me, et cetera, et cetera. No, absolutely not. But whatever. But that being said,
Does Leanne
um,
live in that same?
yes, she lives a 90-second walk. So,
Okay.
so, she told the police that Bricks attacked her. They showed her another picture of another animal that used to live at this house. And she said that dog didn't do it. It was the wolf dog, right?
Okay.
Um, a week later, she says the wolf dog did not attack me. I made a mistake. The wolf dog did not attack me. It's in the discovery. It's in the documents that I
Oh.
sent you.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't know this. Now, after that happened, they came and took her 3 days later. So after this woman told them that Bricks didn't bite her, they came and took her still 3 days later after that. So they showed up to my house. They tell my little brother, hey, we just need a few pictures of her. We just want to make sure she doesn't have rabies. It sounded pretty weird, but he says, okay, he lets her off the lead.
They didn't
She's
have any warrants or any papers or anything.
absolutely not.
Okay.
And all this has to be on body cam, which we still
Yeah.
haven't gotten.
You
But
got.
they tell us that they want to take pictures of her because she might have rabies or something like that. It didn't make any sense. But my brother's like,
Right.
okay, whatever. You want to take pictures of her? Here she is. So he
Yeah.
lets her off the lead. She's running around, and they're like, they probably just couldn't believe that he would just let her off the lead and she would just run around and listen to him. I don't know. Next second, they're saying, hey, we're taking her. And he's like, what? What do you mean? I thought you were just taking pictures.
Oh.
Literally, they
Uh-huh.
called another truck and a bunch of cops are on the scene, and there was nothing that he was going to be able to do to prevent them from taking her. So I told him, hey,
Now, did
just
he willingly give her to them, or did they have to forcibly take her?
no. So he was on the phone with me and he says, man, what do I do? And I said, man, the only thing you can do is just try to help them get her in there as non-violently as possible. We don't want anything to happen to her. We don't want them to do anything to her.
Uh,
But literally they refused his help. They told him to get back, and they put something around her neck and they kept it around her neck for probably like 45 minutes.
Uh-huh.
It was like choking her. And she's just sitting there, never tried to attack anyone, never growled, never barked, never did anything, just terrified. You could tell
Yeah,
she's
you
terrified,
could tell she was yeah.
horrified.
Yeah.
Just sitting there wondering what is going on here. What are these people doing? I don't know these people. Why do they have this thing on my neck? So when he took her off the lead, I left this detail out. When he took her off the lead, he put her shock collar on her neck just to
Okay.
make sure when she's not on the lead, she walks around on that just to make sure that you can vibrate her if
They
she
still
walks in the
have.
wrong direction or whatever. God
Mhm.
forbid you have to shock her, et cetera, et cetera. But it
Yeah.
has two prongs on it. So
Right.
you're not supposed to keep it on her for a long time.
Right.
You take her for a walk, you take it back off, and
Right.
she, goes back on the lead or walks around freely in the yard. With
Mhm.
that being said, when they took her with the shock collar. And I'm all over the place right now because like I'm so emotional about this situation. But
Yeah.
when they took her with the shock collar. 45 minutes she sat out there to an hour with that thing around her neck. As they're choking her, she's just sitting there. That body cam footage is shortened and redacted heavily because there's a lot of things in there that are not there that I was there to witness myself. It was at least 45 minutes to an hour before they got her in the truck. The person that had the thing around her neck is not even who put her in the truck. A guy pulled up with a different truck and he was able to get her in 60 seconds or less of him being there. So that's the guy that should have called in the first place. And I don't think he was really too forceful about it or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just being transparent, just
Mm-hmm.
being honest. I got to be
Yeah.
impartial about this. I'm in the right, so there's no reason for me to make up lies on the police or anything. I don't like what the first lady did, but the second guy, I do think he did his job the way he should have done it, and I appreciate the way that he moved swiftly in getting her in there because she was terrified. She didn't know what she was doing, standing across the street. in the middle of the street. They have the street blocked off. People are pulling up, saying things, recording her. At this point, this is a big thing in the news. My home has been vandalized. People are threatening to kill her, saying what they'll do to her if they see her, all of these kinds of things. So,
Wow.
this is all in my mind as it's going on. It's just disgusting. But with that being said, they knew that the witness said that Bricks didn't bite her, and they still came and got her. And since
Mhm.
August 17th of 2023, she's been in their possession in a cage. I went to see her,
Mhm.
fed her, things of that nature. But it's hard
Yeah.
for me to go up there and look at her like that. It's hard for my brother to go up there and look at her like that
Mm.
because she's never been in a cage. She's not used to being in a cage. And another very important aspect of a wolf dog that they don't care about. And it's like, you know, I suck to say this, like, I get it. Like, we're humans, so we should care about humans' rights. But what about the animal's rights? What about the fact that this animal is a high content wolf, and abandonment issues and being away from the pack are the two leading causes to a wolf becoming aggressive?
Yeah.
That, the third thing being in an environment that it's not familiar with. So
Yeah. Not
knowing
only
that,
that, isolation. Think about this, being in isolation almost an entire year. We don't even subject humans to that. Only the worst type of humans are in solitary confinement for any length of time. And so I can't even imagine that. I mean, I remember that you saw that you gave the video of you coming to her. I don't know if it was you or your brother, but one of you was coming to her and like just petting her on the other side of the fence, and she was,
that was me.
yeah, and it's just heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to see that, and she looked like she was okay, but you just never know. You never know. You never
You
know.
don't know what they're doing. I don't know if
What
they're
what
trying to.
her what her behavior is gonna be like after this experience, you're gonna, yeah, that's yet to be seen. So, okay, so tell me, you mentioned that you did the right thing because I was like, wow, good for you. Jesse, I was so impressed when you said that you were able to put a stay on the animal control so that they could not euthanize her before the trial date happened. And so that's actually kudos to you, because in the case that you were mentioning before, in our case, uh, that didn't happen, and they euthanized our dog without any trial or anything the day before the trial was supposed to happen, and there was nothing we could do. And
Never,
yeah, because she's out of
never.
our control, and I'm just so impressed that you were able to get that done, because
It's
so
crazy.
tell me how that happened, like
It's crazy
what
that we've
made you
already
think
been
to do
talking
that?
for this long and we haven't even mentioned all of the crazy things they're having to do with this case.
Yeah.
So, um, we're on the fourth judge.
Right. Right.
This is the fourth judge we're on. Don't know why. Just a
Uh-huh.
misdemeanor case. Just a misdemeanor case. Why are we on the fourth judge?
She doesn't have any priors. There's no, she hasn't been in trouble with animal control before. She wasn't
My
on
brother
anybody's
doesn't have a
radar.
criminal record. He doesn't have any priors. He's never been in trouble. He's only been in Ohio since 2019.
Uh-huh.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? We're on the fourth judge and we're on his fourth attorney. We're on his fourth attorney, his fourth public defender. The
Okay.
judge on the record, I believe it was on the record, but she told him at the last hearing when she recused herself that the public defender's office is quote unquote done with him. Now, even though he's on the fourth attorney, the first one removed itself from the case after the first time they spoke. So I believe there was some sort of scheduling issues. The second and third one are the ones that we're referring to because we were
Okay.
dealing with a guy by the name of Mark, and then we got pushed over to Jacob, and we find out that Jacob and Mark work together. But Jacob is he might as well be a prosecutor as far as I'm concerned. Every
Okay.
time we try to submit something to him to put in evidence, he tells us it's not admissible. I thought the judge made those rulings. He told us a bunch of things about the discovery that just wasn't true. So I don't know if he's either incompetent or he's just being dishonest. It's one of the two. So
Uh-huh.
that's the guy that removed himself from the case on the last hearing, and that's hilarious because my brother literally went up there with a letter that same day to have Jacob removed from the case. So
Wow.
now they're saying that they're going to pay a private attorney to put on the case. We don't know I don't know what the attorney's name is or who it is because the public defender's office is quote unquote done with him. So I don't know what that means. That
Yeah,
makes
what the heck
absolutely
does
no
that
sense.
mean? I mean,
Cuyahoga County is a huge county. There has to be dozens, if not at least 100 judges. I mean, 100 public defenders that work in that office. How could they be done with him? That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Now, moving forward, past the moving into the judicial side of this, the first day he was supposed to go there, and you can look all of this up. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I've never seen anything like this. The first day he was supposed to go to court regarding getting his dog back, he was assigned to a judge by the name of Judge Michael Nelson. When he went to Judge Michael Nelson's courtroom, no one was in there. So he went out back to the bailiff and said, "What's going on?" The bailiff said, "Yeah, I told you, no one's in there." He said, "Well, this is the courtroom I'm supposed to go to." So the bailiff instructed him, "Hey, go to the clerk of courts, and get your paperwork. So they'll tell you exactly where you're supposed to be because you're not supposed to be here." He goes to the clerk of courts. They print him out the paperwork with the same judge's name in the same courtroom. So he goes back. Throughout this entire ordeal, he's calling his public defender, the Mark guy. He's calling Mark. Mark's not answering the phone. Mark could have been busy. Mark could have been 100% positive and righteous in his actions in that very moment. No disdain towards Mark. I'm just providing the facts. So with that being said,
he knew that DiCardo was supposed to be there, right?
He's his attorney. He's his attorney. So
exactly. So
anyway, anyway, so now he's calling Mark the entire time. He's been there since 9 a.m. I know because I brought him there, right? My brother has narcolepsy. He's disabled. He doesn't drive. With that being said, he's there since from 9 a.m. It's going on to 11:30. I tell him I have to go. I wasn't able to have. I had to go back to work. I couldn't go there. I had to get back to pick my girl up from work. I couldn't go there and sit there all day with him while he walked around the courtroom, which I'm not saying he was walking around the courtroom. I know he was there trying to go to court. So with that being said, we leave. When we leave, I drop him off at home. As I'm about to leave to go pick my fiance up from work, he gets a call from his attorney. He says, "Dude, you have a warrant." He had a warrant because the judge, Michael Nelson, was retired, and they assigned him to a new judge that he didn't know. So even though Michael Nelson's name was on the docket, he was supposed to know to go there. So they had the hearing without my brother, without him being there, and pretended as if he never showed up, and gave him a warrant that came with a $500 bond for something that they admitted had nothing to do with him. Okay, now we found a program by the name of the Bond Project, which paid the bond, right? So he didn't have to pay any money out of pocket because thank God for that, right? So now we get that warrant dealt with that he should have never had in the first place. Boom. Time goes on. We now move forward to May of 2024. Again, this is all in the docket. You can look at all of this stuff and verify it. He was charged with negligence. They're saying he neglected Briccs because the shock collar left 2 prongs in her neck. So after they took her, they just left her in the cage for weeks and never took the collar off of her. So it's like you drop your kid off at daycare. He comes home with a black eye and they're telling you, "Hey, mom, we're charging you with that." Yeah, what did we do? What did we do? You guys had her. Why would you not take the collar off of her? So now she had some cut that was infected. How long does it take a cut to become infected? That in itself is the definition of negligence. Why would you guys not do anything? But he gets charged with negligence. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Jesse,
Absolutely.
your story cannot be more horrifying.
No, no, but wait, there's more. The following month.
So we're only in May, aren't we?
The following month in June, he's charged with having an exotic animal without a permit. Are you serious?
Wait a minute. You're in Cleveland.
Are you serious? I have the law right here.
Yes,
Wolf hybrids are considered dogs in Ohio.
Yeah.
How could she be exotic? What's going on here? Now, one may ask himself, what are they just doing? Are they wasting the taxpayers' money? Of course. But what else are they doing? They're charging him with a charge that has no jail time attached and only fines because in the state of Ohio, you're not required to have an attorney represent you in those cases. So they're trying to charge him with things that he'll have to show up and represent himself for. But thank
Oh,
God that I'm here to do all the research necessary to prove she's
yeah,
not an exotic animal. We have the paperwork from when we got her. She has
yeah,
dog in her. There's no way you can say she's an exotic animal. I can fax send over all these documents to you. It's absolutely ridiculous. So it's
wow,
like they're like trying to go after him because he's disabled. And the only reason why I know about this, and I know this has absolutely nothing to do with this. I actually spent 367 days in immigration back in 2017.
okay,
They took me in and told me that I was going to be deported and then released me because I didn't do anything wrong. So during that time, I had to kind of become my own attorney, and I was subsequently everything was dismissed, and and I was found not guilty of everything, but I still had to sit in there for 367 days, and that's what prepared me for this, to
yeah,
be able to do the necessary research and find the case law to be able to prove that she didn't do anything wrong. We have the camera footage. Okay, the lady said that the wolf didn't bite her. Now you're saying that we were negligent. That's absolutely ridiculous. She was in your possession when you're saying the alleged negligence took place. Now you're saying she's an exotic animal. This is almost a year after. We're still coming with new charges. What's going on here? And we
yeah,
still haven't went to trial on the initial charge where she's been locked up since August 17th. What's going on? And
wow,
now we're on a whole new judge now, Suzanne Sweeney. Anyone that watches this stream, I challenge you to keep up with this case. Follow up with this case. And I
yeah,
guarantee you,
will,
you'll be
do it.
just like me. You'll have more questions than answers. We don't know what's going on. The only thing that we know for sure is they've had her since August 17th. Outside of that, we don't know what's going on. I don't know if they're trying to impregnate her. When
Oh, Lord.
initially when they got her, they filed a motion to destroy her because they wanted to kill her. We were able to have them stay that motion. Thank
Okay,
God. We don't even know if
that's where the stay comes in. Oh,
we don't know if she would still be here because the lady came there.
no, yeah,
And listen, this lady suffered some horrific injuries.
It hurts to crawl to still go up the stairs. I have to either crawl forward or go down the stairs like this.
Leanne Amos Reed struggles to get around her home more than 2 weeks after she believes she was viciously attacked by what Cleveland animal control officials are classifying as a wolf hybrid. Leanne says she was doing cardio around her neighborhood on East 147th Street and had run 7 miles when an animal snuck up behind her.
It bit the whole it's from this side all the way around the back to the opposite side. And when I was bit, of course, I screamed really, really loud.
She injured her hand and wrist trying to fight off the animal until a good Samaritan drove up trying to scare the animal away.
The owner of the animal comes running outside, being very aggressive, yelling at it, cursing at it, trying to grab it. When he started yelling at it, it turned around and charged at me again. I'm not going to be able to work out. I got to go through physical therapy. But I'm in good spirits.
Leanne spent 4 days in the hospital. The injuries to her leg are so graphic, we can't show them to you.
It's very gruesome, and unfortunately, we can't show those type of images online. But can I show you?
Show me.
Oh.
Oh, my goodness. Oh.
My whole calf muscle, a chunk of it was ripped wide open.
Leanne says even after she returned home, her family took video of the animal still sitting in its backyard down the street. An email she received from the city's animal control officer says it is classified as a wolf hybrid and as a level 2 threat. It's at the city kennel and does not have rabies. Cleveland's chief animal control officer tells Fox 8 they are still trying to confirm that the wolf hybrid is the animal that actually attacked her.
I'm very thankful that my son was out of town when it happened, because normally my son is with me. That could have been him. That could have been any other child.
Leanne was attacked about a block from an elementary school. She works in the entertainment industry, recently starring in a movie.
It stops me from traveling, doing bookings, hosting events, movie premieres. Like, it stops me from working.
In Cleveland, Kevin Freeman, Fox 8 News.
Outside of her experiencing it, I'm the next closest person probably from the doctor that can tell you exactly what her injuries were. I saw her injuries. They were horrific. It looked like she was attacked by a saber-toothed tiger. She
Wow.
deserves to feel like a victim. She is a victim. She deserves to feel disdain towards the party that's responsible for this. But what I'm trying to bring to the forefront here is that, hey, newsflash, the dog that did this, guys, it's still out there. Why are we not looking for this animal? Why is my dog, why is my brother's dog being locked up for something that we know for a fact that she didn't do, while you guys pass this on to judge after judge after judge after judge, and we
Yeah.
just sit back and wait and cross our fingers hoping that the next judge won't recuse themselves? What's
Yeah.
going on? Like, this doesn't feel like America. Things like this need to be brought to the forefront, because you know no one believes this type of stuff happens or
Right.
is possible until it happens to you. And
That's exactly right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, this happens all of the time. That's why the statistics for wolf dogs are so freaking high. You know,
one
there's a
something
reason.
call from family. They want to talk to DeCarlo. Literally, that they're gonna ask him, so what's up with the dog situation?
Right.
He's gonna say, hey, they just switched. You're finding it out before them. They just
Wow.
switched the judge over. We don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know how much longer it's gonna take. We don't know
You're
when.
not sure who your district attorney is anymore, or do you know that for sure now?
The district attorney never changed. I just gave him my phone, but the Cuyahoga County Municipal District Attorney, I know the clerk of courts is Earl B. Turner, but I don't know who the district attorney is by name. To be honest, I don't know.
Okay. And so you're looking at a private attorney? Is that what you were saying? Because
That's what they're saying, that they're saying now, we're gonna give you an attorney. They're saying we're gonna give DeCarlo an attorney, but it won't be from the public defender's office because they're
Mm,
done with you. So we're gonna pay a private attorney. And my thing is,
wow.
like, I've in my situation, when immigration took me, I had no trust of law enforcement. Like, one
Yeah.
day, so a little background for me, I work in digital forensics, so I've done everything from intellectual property theft, data breaches,
Uh,
even something as small as an infidelity case, where we're just going in and doing forensic discovery, e-discovery, taking data from a device, whether it's physically or remote acquisition, analyzing the data, putting the deleted information back together, and providing it to the client in a way that they can get the most desirable course of action in any sort of legal situation or court. So we have to authenticate it in a way that it can be proven that this is exactly what was said. These are the images, these are the videos that came from this device on this date at this time, et cetera, et cetera. So
right.
I'm a very meticulous sort of guy as far as details are concerned. And I can, just looking at this, there's so many questions, there's so many things that just blare out to me that just make absolutely no sense whatsoever. So
And that's
um,
what you did with the video footage for your on your porch, right? You actually had to go overseas, like get the footage from overseas where it was
yeah,
held.
there was
Is
some
that what happened?
Chinese company, they were holding it hostage. Nothing against China, but Jesus Christ, give me my data. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they were holding the data hostage. I had to pay them an absorbent
Wow.
amount just to get access to the data from that day. But to be honest, I would have done it 100 times for Bricks. I know what my relationship is with her. I know what my brother's relationship is with her. I know how much she means to him. So
Yeah.
it's completely, it's fine. But yeah, and when I showed that information to John Baird, he said he
Yeah.
would send it over to the prosecution. The prosecution claims to have never seen it. They've had access to it since last year, August of 2023. Now, when I sent that
Wow.
over to my lawyer in a way that he couldn't have denied that he received it, I sent it to him via email to his official email address. All of a sudden now, the prosecution, they use that as an excuse to push the trial date back, saying new evidence has arisen when you guys should have had access to this the entire time. Not only that, Jacob, who's supposed to be DeCarlo's attorney, told him in his professional opinion that that video is not admissible because
I thought that was gonna happen when you said that.
he said
Okay.
it's chopped up times from different parts of the day and it's not a whole recording of the entire day. Now, humans, Earth to humans, guys, we all have motion cameras. We know they don't record throughout the whole day. Whose motion camera is recording throughout the whole day, guys? Let's be realistic about it here, guys, please. And
Yeah.
not only that, furthermore, the egregious attack that this woman suffered, if any animal had done that and was in the yard on a camera, you'd be able to tell. Their appearance would change. There'd be blood. There'd be redness. There would be something. on this animal to show. So even if you're saying that it's inadmissible from the standpoint of, hey, we don't have video from the exact time the alleged attack took place, we still have video from before the condition of the animal, we're able to see her, and after the condition of the animal, we're able to see her, to see that her appearance didn't change in any fashion. So that in itself, in my opinion, I'm not an attorney, I didn't go to law school,
Right.
but that in itself, in my opinion, would make that admissible, because it's going to show that her appearance didn't change prior, during, after the attack. So even if you're saying that, well, we don't have the exact same time, I mean, I would argue that, hey, we don't, I understand that we may not have the exact same time, because she's going to keep changing the times because we've provided her with the camera footage already. That's fine. However, we have maybe 15 or so videos from that day. Why does her appearance not change? If she would have been that wolf that's behind you, I mean, I know she's a little bit, that wolf behind you in the picture is a little bit lighter than Briccs, but if that wolf had attacked someone, when a wolf gets a kill, we've all seen the videos before on National Geographics, you're able to tell this thing just got a kill. You're able to tell this thing just attacked someone and made it bleed profusely. Why is that not apparent on Briccs? No one's asking these questions.
Right. Right. Well, so you gave me pictures of Briccs when she was little, and it appears that she was a black wolf dog with yellow eyes. And then I'm assuming that she phased out, because the video that when she's older, that they're taking her into the animal control vehicle, she's a lighter dog and all of her paws are really light and it's not completely black anymore. Can you speak to that?
No, her stomach is white, and that's how her mom is. She literally takes after her mom.
Yeah.
Her mother's back is black, and her stomach is a grayish white, and her coat kind of changes throughout the year. I mean, anyone that's had wolf dogs knows, like, they're this color during this time of the year, and then they're that color during that time of the year. She's just a very shiny wolf, I would say that. No matter what time of the year it is, she's just very shiny wolf. But yeah, her stomach's white, so she's not all black. There's parts of here on her neck area that are lighter as well. And I think she kind of gets that from her dad. Her dad looks similar to that wolf that you see in the background there.
Okay.
But yeah, so
And
she's
in one of
definitely,
sorry, go ahead.
her colors definitely change as she's gotten older, for sure.
Right. Okay. That's what I thought. And then in one of the videos, there's another dog that looks like a husky mixed dog.
Yeah, that's a husky Akita mix.
Okay. And
Yeah.
that's just another dog that you guys own, or what?
So my brother actually runs like a dog cleaning company. So
okay.
he walks dogs, take care of people's. This wolf thing has destroyed that business. It's gone now. I mean, no one wants to give their dog to someone who they think has a vicious dog, right?
Okay.
So, if he had 40 clients before, he might have 4 now. But shout out to you guys that are still doing business with him. But with that being said, that was someone else's dog who he was just babysitting at the time. As I mentioned, we have a pretty large yard, so just utilizing the space to create a safe environment for other animals that need to be brought up the right way.
I gotcha. Okay. Well, Jesse, I'm just so happy that you contacted us, that you're just looking at every angle. And like I said, after that happened to one of our dogs and the animal control euthanized it before we could go to a trial, the person who owned that particular dog has since become an attorney and an advocate for dogs that are in this same situation. And I know he lives over there. I just don't know if he's from Ohio, but I want to say he's from Illinois, but it's in the Midwest. And I don't know if that connection could bring you anything, but I definitely want to get you in touch with him. And, maybe that'll lead somewhere. Maybe he'll know somebody else, or maybe he can help you, or, I don't really know, but I just want to do whatever I can to support what's going on. I know how difficult it must be for you. I've lost plenty of dogs myself. And like I said, that situation was horrific when we went through it at the time. And so I know the desperation that you must feel. And when you called me on the phone, that came across very clearly. I know it's a horrible, life-altering situation, and all you want is your dog back, and it's just sitting there without any recourse. And what a painful thing to go through. So yeah, go ahead.
on top of that, it's like what she's dealing with, like we don't even know what state she's going to be in mentally when she gets out.
That's
And
right.
then the neighborhood is not nearly as welcoming as it was to her before. I would imagine it wouldn't be. So
Yeah.
I mean, like we don't even want to be here in this area anymore, after this situation. So it's like we're just looking to just get a fresh start as far as everything is concerned. So I mean, I definitely appreciate the interview and extending the resources, because any resources that are at our disposal, we need them at this point. I mean,
Is there
whether
any
it's for
YouTube video
attorneys.
or social media that you have that you can share with people who want to follow along with what's going on? Like, are you able to post publicly anywhere or
Yeah, I do have an Instagram handle for the situation. I haven't really posted any. Honestly, I think I may have made one post at all on it. It's called All Wolf Lives Matter, and
okay. All
yeah,
Wolf Lives Matter on Instagram.
on Instagram.
Okay, we'll
Yeah.
get that out for everybody too. Okay, and then what about some sort of donation situation? I know that we have lots of people in our group who are really interested in advocating for dogs and helping in that sort of thing. So if you have any donation platform that they could help out with, we'd be willing to do that too, or whatever.
Absolutely. That would be greatly appreciated. Usually I find myself being the donator rather than the one taking donations, but at this time in life, definitely they know that I'm not able to advance my immigration status until these cases are over. And I've told them that. So it's like they're holding that over my head. So any
Okay.
sort of donations, I mean, we'll set something up. I don't even have anything set up to accept donations, but I mean, I guess
Okay.
we should at this point, because we're looking to just get Bricks a fresh start overall.
Well,
Get
it sounds like you just need the public to know what's going on here,
I
because
really feel like that's why they're doing this, because they think not enough people care. That's why they're doing this to us. I really believe if we had the strength of the people behind us, then that would be all we would really need, because
yeah.
this is just wrong. At the end of the day, regardless of whether you're a human or you're a wolf or whatever, just from a living organism standpoint, this is just morally wrong. She
Yeah.
shouldn't be in there. I don't know how it's going to change her. I've had her for 3 years. They're gonna for she's only been alive for 4 years, and
Yeah.
one of those, so 25% of her life is going to be like, so far it's going to be like
Related.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know something has to be done. Whether it's towards an attorney or like we at this point we definitely need all the help we can get.
We'll get the word out for sure, and we'll just keep be in touch, keep in touch. If anything happens, let us know. We'll get you back on. We'll do another video, and we'll see where it goes, because the best case scenario is, number one, she's not euthanized. That's number one. We do not want her to be another statistic. If those statistics are true, 90 to 95% of wolf dogs euthanized by the time they're 2 years old. We don't want her to be another one. That's horrible if that's really true. And so we definitely don't want her to be euthanized. The other thing is, we need to get you the support. Right now, you don't have anybody on your side. The judges have switched, the attorneys have switched. Nobody knows your full story but you. And so you need help. You need people, and you came to the right place. We'll get your word out. We'll get your name out. We'll drum up the public support, and we'll just see, because having a high content wolf dog in isolation like this, especially a female, they don't do that in real life, in the wild. You might see a dog go out on his own, but it's in order to find a mate. So there's a reason for doing that, and they are communal in nature, and they can't survive, they can't thrive in isolation, especially for a year. We would never do that to our humans. Even the worst of us would not be in isolation for that long. That is cruel and unusual, in my opinion. And so she needs to at least have some interaction. That's ridiculous that she's isolated like that. So hopefully people will hear this, know that you need the support. be able to connect with you in some way. We'll give them all your information. I'll connect with the attorney and see, where that could lead, and then keep in touch, because people are going to be interested in what happens to this poor soul and your family. I mean, if they're holding immigration over your head, and we've got, sorry to say, but we've got all those people just pouring in at the border, and here you are, not able to get what you need, because you've got this court case.
I've been in this country since I was a child, like I've
Yeah.
lived the vast majority of life in this country. So, and
Yeah.
I didn't come here illegally. So I'm not here as a voice for illegal immigration. And
That's right.
in any event, whether you're going somewhere else or coming here, I think you should just do it the right way.
Well, it's egregious that they aren't taking care of their own, and we can't do this to wolf dogs. This is outrageous.
It's,
So
I mean,
thank you
and
so
if
much.
anyone, please follow up with this case, guys. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to go there, and I mean, she's such a nice animal, it
Yeah.
really just sucks. I would love to, see people protesting for her, because she really deserves that. She really's never done anything to anyone, never attacked anyone. The only thing she's ever attacked is a piece of chicken. You know what I mean? That's what she likes. And that's another thing. I don't know what they're feeding her in there. They won't tell me. They said
Right.
it's some sort of dog meal, but whenever I go there, I always give her raw meat, because that's the only thing I feed her. It's just raw meat. So
Yeah. And that's true.
another
You
thing.
just never know what they're going to do, and that could affect her health too. I mean,
Moving
that's very
forward
true.
dramatically.
Yeah. So we need to get the word out. Thank you so much, Jesse. I really
Thank you
appreciate your
so much,
time.
Jennifer.
Yeah. And thank you for all of the work that you are doing behind the scenes, by yourself. I mean, you're doing the attorney's job, and that's pretty admirable. It's sad, but it's also very admirable. So keep it
I
up.
appreciate that.
There are people who are on your side, that, there are people, because you've reached out, people will know. We'll get the word out, and we'll see where it goes. Okay.
I
All right.
greatly appreciate
You're
that,
not,
Jennifer. Thank
you are
so
not
much.
alone. She is not alone. There are people out there who love you and love what you're doing, and the fact that you are still here fighting a year later, incredibly admirable. So keep it up. Take heart. We're behind you, and we'll follow up, and everybody will know what's going on. So we'll keep in touch. Okay, Jesse?
Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. Love you guys, and you have a great rest of your day. I appreciate it.
All right. Okay, thank you so much, Jesse. Everything will be in the description below so that you can follow him, and we'll talk to you soon.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Everything.
Okay, bye-bye now.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us today. It was great to have you with us. Please go to the description below and find the links to support Jesse James and his wonderful high-content wolf dog Bricks. Let's get her out of isolation and back into the family that she loves. Don't forget to head on over to direwolfproject.com for your free gift and to sign up to our email newsletter. It's the only place where you can get information about our litters and our puppies. We'll see you there.